800 horses coursing through its veins. Ignited. Human horsepower.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro driver, and today we're going to talk about Royal Purple HPS and what actually goes into it. There's a lot of talk about additives, and Royal Purple has its proprietary Centerlick technology. It is fortified with a high level of zinc phosphorus anti-wear additive for exceptional protection against heat and wear. Its high film strength improves sealing between the piston ring and cylinder wall for maximum horsepower and torque. Royal Purple HPS, race car technology for the street.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
Link ECU produces standalone engine management technology with a range of products that allow you to unleash the power of your engine. Acting as your car's brain, Link ECUs control electronic fuel injection and ignition. A magnitude of sensor inputs and outputs ensure your engine exceeds your expectations. Built-in safety features guarantee engine protection, and data logs keep you informed on its performance. Smoke your tires, not your engine, with a world-leading Link ECU.
Well, hello, Drift fans, and welcome to beautiful Garden State, New Jersey. Some drivers love it, some drivers absolutely despise it. You're going to see carnage, you're going to see mayhem, but you're also going to see some dynamic and awesome driving. Marco just nicking that course marker. Jeff Jones swinging for the fences. I'm on a new level. There, riding the line is, woo! Oh, doctor, look at this!
There are really no weak battles anymore, even in the top 32.
Yeah, look at this, the Garden State, it is green, it is ready to go. Got a little moisture last night, but we are continuing our qualifying for our Pro Championship. This is the round 3 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, deemed the AutoZone Gauntlet, presented by Type S. We are back here and ready to see some again, just some qualifying, and then we're gonna go right into top 32 for Pro Spec, and then Pro this evening under the lights. So it should make for an awesome day. I'm Jared Dienda, and back with me once again is my co-host and great friend, Ryan Sage. Ryan, here we are, E-Town. This is the first ever purpose-built Drift Coliseum in the United States.
Yeah, we are super excited to be able to kind of squeeze in this continuation of qualifying this morning on this awesome track. Had a little bit of moisture last night, so a slight deviation from the dry conditions that we had yesterday. However, the drivers will have a quick sight lap before we finish up the remainder of the runs. I believe we will be starting with Simen Olsen, and those drivers will get their qualifying lap, and then we'll find out who's going to be in what order in the top 32. But as you can see right here, this is our updated schedule for today. We've got Pro qualifying starting just in a few moments. Then we're going to move into the Pro Spec top 32, and then Pro will be tonight at 6:30. We kick off the opening ceremonies. It's going to be a fun-filled day, a lot of excitement. There's a really cool vibe going on here, I think, with everything getting a little bit more post-COVID, but we still have a lot more competition to go and a few questions to answer of who's going to reign supreme here at E-Town.
Well, right now, Denofa sits on top as Simen Olsen hits the track for his sight lap. Just and we talked about the weather. Got some moisture, got some rain last night, but today the forecast is saying it's going to be like 80, so mid 80s. So it's going to make for an absolute ideal day on track and for the fans. Like you said, just an absolute vibe here with this figure eight track, figure eight setup, a brand new venue for us. Not so much the venue, but the track as we're back here in, I think you said 2008, was it? You said we were
2008 was the last clip that I pulled. Yep. So that was the last time we're here on the road course.
Yep,
right?
On the road course. So totally different setup. We got the Tower of Power, formerly the drag strip, but the boys got down last night. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here.
Well, you can kind of see just how dynamic this course can actually be as the drivers pop into the stadium and explode with sound getting into the figure eight. We see how important the initiation is, and remember, Jared, there's 20 points in Sector 1, so that outside zone and that initiation are extremely important. Chelsea Denofa continuing the pace that he started in Orlando with that #1 qualification and eventually the win, looking like the guy to beat at the current moment. But check out this guy right here, equaling him with the 95, just 1 point less in style. Justin Pollock continuing to make news here in the 21 season. We talked a lot about how well we thought the vehicle was configured, the type of development that he's done to the car, and now he's got a brand new power plant under there after the incident in Orlando, looking strong as he comes in, is currently sitting in second place.
All right, so JTP, there is Frederick Osbo, who we talked about, you know, just coming out strong. And I think notably for Osbo, you know, coming out last year with that brand new Toyota Supra. Speaking of Norwegian, speaking of Supra, Simen Olsen, he makes his debut here this year. Totally different setup as far as engine package. But again, Norwegian, Supra, we'll see how Simen Olsen fares here. Gonna throw it down here, coming out into that first outside zone. The 3-2-1 cones tapping the wall. See him just tapping the brakes there as well. Into that second outside zone. Let's see if he can throw it in there and hang it out to dry. Literally as the moisture still sits, but not an issue so far. Simen Olsen now brings it into that first and only inside clipping point. And our final outside zone, Simen Olsen makes it look easy. Quick little yank of the brake and crosses the finish line. Simen Olsen puts a score on the board. Where it lands, we will see.
Yeah, obviously the scoring for judging a little bit on a curve this morning with the conditions not absolutely dry. Simen Olsen rubbing that back bumper. A couple pieces coming off the vehicle there, but managing to get through pretty well. We know how important that outside zone is. And as the drivers take their sight lap, they're going to understand what the grip level is at in certain areas of the course where we do see that variable kind of surface conditions changing. We've got the newer pavement, we've got the asphalt, and Simen Olsen adjusting to the conditions here. How the format is going to work this morning will be exactly the same as yesterday with one exception. Instead of the bottom 8 running, we were only going to run the drivers that get incomplete so we can stay on schedule. We've got a very, very long day of drifting. So who we will see running guaranteed as of right now is Chris Forsberg and Adam LZ.
All right, as we wait for Simen Olsen's score, our next driver should be Rome Charpentier. Our 3 judges, Chris Yule, Ryan Lontaine, and Brian Eggers. There's Rome again, giving every driver a sight lap due to the conditions changing from yesterday. Yes, this is a sight lap. So this is just making sure that they're familiar with the course. Did not have practice, so checking the conditions.
Roll with the punches, man.
Rolling with it.
You got to roll with it. You got to be like Rocky against Drago. You get knocked down, and then you power up.
I like
it. You become like iron.
Yep, I get it. All right, there is Simen Olsen's score, an 84. An 84 for Simen Olsen. So coincidentally, the last driver we saw throw down last night was that of Alec Robbins. He got an 84 as well. So fairly consistent here. Our judges. Just saw Rome Charpentier in that Garagistic Federal Tire BMW E36. And now he will take his actual judged run. Rome on the start line, ready to put down his score. And like Ryan said, it bears repeating, 1 run and done. All right, there goes Rome into that first outside zone. Hits it, quits it, now goes into the big 180-degree outside zone. saw Rome. He was the first one out here on the track this morning on a scooter doing a sight lap of his own on 2 wheels. Not obviously his competition vehicle. Now into that final outside zone, making it look really easy, Rome. Well done, gentleman from San Diego, California. Puts it down.
Well, he has certainly impressed here, not just this morning, but through the entire 21 season, looking very strong and consistent, also very comfortable in the vehicle, and even in these kind of wet-ish conditions, looking pretty balanced here overall. Here he is getting into outside zone 2, that long sweeping left-hander, really focusing, trying to keep the car settled, minimize that movement with the front wheels as the traction kind of breaks up here and there. So doing a great job overall, manipulating the vehicle the way that he needs to get that score here in run number 1.
Okay. See the Crazy 8. Next up, taking his sight lap, Michael Essa. Michael Essa's had a few gremlins here and there, just with the hold it together. He says, you know, just with the talking with him yesterday during the autograph session, and he said that he's turned it up. He's got a lot of grip in the car. Decided to throw it down. Technical track, and with the sight lap, does spin out and does rotate. The FCP Euro BMW, and the scores are in. Here we go for Rome, an 87. An 87 for Rome. Rome Charpentier with an 87. Another BMW on the track right now, Michael Essa. Got to be a little nerve-wracking there, even on the side lap spinning out. It seemed like, I mean, you could see some water accumulation when you exit and go into that first inside clip, but not a ton of it. So we'll see what happens here for Essa as he.
If you find out something about Litteral, let me know.
And here is Essa.
If you were in their shoes, what kind of nerves? High, medium?
I'd go medium. I mean, right now, that's what I just said in regards to Essa spinning out. That's got to be really interesting. How does that play a role in his mind? So I'd go medium because just want to get a score on the board. You know, there's coming in 33 drivers, but right now Michael Essa making it look easy. Like I said, just Rome past that. Rome did a good job. I think he just played it safe, puts a score on the board, gets that outside zone, taps it in. Yep, and Essa does that as well. So, yeah, nerve-wise, I think you just play it cool. You know,
keep it chill.
Keep it chill. Don't go full ham.
Well, the anxiety that was in the sight lap has been remedied here. Michael Essa coming through with a strong initiation there through the kind of wet conditions that we're seeing. And as we see these whiffs of smoke pop up, you can tell where the grip levels are on the course. Essa managing to get through it pretty well here, keeping those front 2 tires pretty well locked at angle, making that adjustment right there where it's a little bit more wet on the outside. That is where he spun on his sight lap. But this time he gets through it, no problem there, scoring the books, and he is done. We'll see where that puts him into the field of 32.
You can see that great overhead view of Essa getting out to that outside zone, crossing the finish line. That's how it needs to get done. Out on track right now, we got Jonathan Hurst, that Cash Racing G37. This is his sight lap. Like I described, if you're just tuning in, this is the continuation of the qualifying from yesterday into today. And there's an 89 for Michael Essa. A lot of strong scores here. You know, it's either, I mean, the lowest 84 out of everybody who's driven outside of the, or no, 82, excuse me, from Yves Meyer. Yves Meyer got an 82. And here is Jonathan Hurst. What do you got, Ryan?
No, nothing. I'm just looking at you. Just
standing up, stretching it out. No big deal. Jonathan Hurst here in his Cash Racing G37. Echoing through what was once a drag strip, now a purpose-built drift coliseum. Into that first outside zone. Doesn't get all the way out there. See how he handles this. Got that tail light tap. That second outside zone fills all of it. Or rolling. The attitude of the vehicle just kind of a little bit disrupted there, but now settled into that final outside zone. And what a great way to end that run there for Jonathan Hurst.
Well, we're really seeing all these drivers so far adjust to the changes in the schedule pretty well, even given the conditions. We've seen all laps completed so far. If you're not familiar with Jonathan Hurst, making his way up from formerly known as Pro 2, now Pro Spec last year. Had a really strong season there and making a name for himself here in the Pro Series, doing a great job on the second outside zone just to keep that right rear right in that central part of outside zone 2. Pretty good job on that inside clip, keeping the throttle control fairly consistent and taking the right amount of risk for the reward here is Jonathan Hurst.
Jonathan Hurst will get a score. Next up, longtime Formula Drift veteran Kenshiro Gushi. Saw a really cool video that Toyota just dropped. It's a lot of fun if you check it out on Toyota USA on their IG. Got Frederick Osbo, Ryan Turk, and Ken Gushi. Even Frederick Osbo's his fiancée, she actually makes a cameo in it as well. An 87 for Jonathan Hurst, and 87 for Jonathan Hurst as Kenshiro Gushi is out there on track. Ken Gushi taking the side lap. What do you make of Ken's season so far, Ryan? It seems that, you know, he's run his own program, he's having fun, doing a lot of great stuff with Toyota, the company, but just seems to be having some bad luck.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bad luck. Yeah, I mean, it happens, and especially when you're running your own program, you know, trying to dot all the I's and cross the T's, it can be challenging. But I think from what I understand about the issues that he's had, it's really just, you know, luck of the draw or bad luck of the draw in that particular setup. As we take a look at the sector map here, we talked about what Ken Gushi and other drivers need to do to get those high qualifying points. And you can see the importance there of Sector 1. That is the initiation zone all the way to outside Zone 1. So Ken Gushi trying to have a reversal of fortunes here, get himself a high quality score in this one and only qualifying lap.
Yeah, I know he talked about simple hoses just popping off now. Let's see if he can pop off, and he pops himself into that wall, slamming in that back left corner, stays in it. So that is good. Obviously it doesn't affect him too much, but let's see if he can finish strong. Second outside zone into that front clip, very close on the inside clip, and then pedals it on into that final outside zone. Man, he is really dancing with the devil there in that outside zone.
Yeah, I do think the judges will appreciate kind of the risk factor there, and also that when he made contact with the wall, the weight and the attitude of the vehicle was not overly affected. You can imagine a chase driver behind him there that may have had to make an adjustment as well. But if you look at the front two tires, the front two tires really didn't move the angle that much. So a good bit of defensive driving there for Ken Gushi, staying stable, not getting overly excited about what happened, and staying calm and composed to finish up this run and get himself a score here for the qualifying session.
And Ken Gushi waits his score as our next driver, Federico Sceriffo, driving a vehicle he's deemed Fiorella. Coming to us from Milano, from Italy. All right, so as Federico gets his sight lap, getting familiar with the course. Took a hiatus there in 2020 with our abbreviated round, and scores are in here for Ken Gushi with a 91. 91. So Ryan, I think you called it there. Just you know, maybe getting some get some respect there, going for it as far as slamming into the wall, and then continue on through the course. Federico make his way back to the start line. And here's a look at the qualifying leaderboard. As we said, Denofa continuing his reign of terror, success, whatever you want to call it, depending on which side of the coin you're looking at. Carney, 89. You see Field, Hughes, Essa. And we are sending car. Federico Sceriffo, the sheriff at Triple F drifting department. Ferrari, you can see him pulling a lot of handbrake there. Like to see him get a little closer to the wall. Now comes in that second outside zone. Finds a sweet spot. Digs all the way out to that outside zone. About the second to third hash mark on that inside clip. Pedals it on in. You can see just a little manipulation of the vehicle into that final outside zone, Ryan. Let's break it down here on this instant replay.
Yeah, another pretty job well done here by Federico Sceriffo, and obviously with that bigger vehicle, really not wanting to test the gripability too much here, but he does put enough risk out on the table. I think the judges will appreciate this. He'll get himself a score that will get him right into the top 32. Now it's just going to be about positioning, but you can see pretty good overall control leaving outside zone 2 with big angle there on the transition through inside clip 1. Just comes off that zone for a second there, but then pushes back wide towards the end. So we know that the high scoring parts of this run are really more balanced towards the initiation and outside zone 1 with equal weighting the remainder of the course. But we do have the style criteria to factor in, as well as now we see Daijiro Yoshihara hitting the track. Another driver that's had a little bit of bad luck this year, but looking strong here this weekend. We'll see what he does as he gets ready to qualify.
Okay. And Federico with a score, and he slides into a 85, an 85. So you can see the line, 21 out of 30, 27 angle style, like in the style there, 37 out of 40. So an 85 for Federico Sceriffo. So another FD veteran just like that of Ken Gushi, Von Gint Jr., Chris Forsberg, a day one since 04, Daijiro Yoshihara, turn 14 distribution, Falcon Tires, Subaru BRZ. Daijiro Yoshihara just completed, I don't know if you saw it, Ryan, his full electric Pikes Peak effort just got debuted last week. So exciting times for him. As I know he broke a record last time he was at Pikes Peak, I believe, or 2 years ago. So here we go. Daijiro Yoshihara, former FD champion, comes in hot in that first outside zone. Dials it in, turn 14, talking about turn 1 right now, into that second outside zone. Really deep, man, look at that, get 3 wheels inside that zone. Now past that front clip. Just putting the car in all the right places, Ryan. And then finally bring it on home. Ryan, that is a really, really good position for Daijiro Yoshihara. And I mean, I think that's going to be, what, 92? What are we playing?
It's going to be up there. I mean, he had a nice initiation. He kind of floated into that outside zone. He kept the throttle on when he needed to. I think the risk was high enough to receive a score potentially in that upper 80s, low 90s. So I think he does a really good job here staying clean and consistent. He had a tiny little correction there, but it was very, very, I would say, minimal overall compared to the run. So I think it's going to be a good score for him. He did his job, and he'll be in the mix.
It didn't have the rate to angle that maybe somebody like Chelsea Denofa has, just with that impact and the overall, but the fluidity was really, really nice. Good, cool, calm, clean. I think that's a great approach to take here in this scenario, this situation of, you know, getting up early here in the morning, completing, qualifying, getting back into the mix, getting the scheme of things, and with a, you know, not consistently dry track like we saw yesterday. So I think that's a great approach here. So a 93, there for Daijiro Yoshihara, puts him into the 5th position, which, you know, you just want to get a score on the board, get up in the mix. Now Taylor Hull, talk about progression and just a vehicle that has, I think, you know, raised a lot of eyebrows here in a great way is Taylor Hull. So there it is as Daijiro Yoshihara slides to number 5 spot, knocks down Travis Reeder. Jones, who I saw him post on this morning, says, made it into the 90 club. Here we go, boys, at 92. Von Gint Jr. You can see Jonathan Hurst there, 87. So a few drivers still yet to run as Taylor Hull has his first go-round in the slightly damp conditions. And Ryan, we initially had 33 drivers coming in. I think there was a little bit of a question mark with Ryan Litteral if he was going to make it or not. We will find out. Yeah, it was pretty close. And here we go, Taylor Hull. Comp cams, Nexen tire, Yellow Speed Racing Cadillac ATS V. Full pull Hull. See what you got here, bud. Nice job so far. Good placement. Like, see a little bit more angle there on that first outside zone. Now goes in the second zone. There's that angle we're looking for. Really throwing it down. Maxing it out into that front clip. Look at that, throwing a brick on it. Wow, snappy. That was the X factor, that rate to angle that we were looking for. Snapped it in there. Didn't get as deep as he could in that outside zone, so taking some kind of distance out of it to get out there, Ryan.
Well, as you said, yeah, he is really impressed over the past season and trying to follow up last year's top 10 performance with another one here this year. As he gets into the run, you can see he's wrapping around this outside zone, bouncing around a little bit, trying to stay stable here with big angle. Has to make a little bit of an adjustment there. Goes slightly wide at inside clip number 1, and then right here just catches it without letting the car spin out. So a great bit of defensive driving there. He'll certainly have a score on the board. Where is it going to be? Right here for Taylor Hull, as he is now finished.
I thought you were DJ Khaled there for a moment. You said another one.
Another one.
Another one. Trenton Beechum. Come here roaring underneath us. Okay, so Trenton Beechum in a vehicle that we haven't seen him piloting before. So I assume a backup vehicle for him. We're used to him driving his Ford Mustang. So Beechum putting it into that outside zone. And this is just a sight lap here for Beechum. Scores are in for Taylor Hull. 84 and 84 for Taylor Hull. 84 for Taylor Hull. Do we know what happened to Beecham's Mustang at all? Do we know? Yeah. Having some clutch issues from what I understand. So figured to park it, get some points, continue on with the series, and hopefully we'll see it back at our next round of competition. And here's Beechum. Comes into that first outside zone. Ooh, you can see him really gripping up into that second outside zone now. Wow, goes all the way out there, almost gets into the dirt. Tightens it up to the front clip. How's he going to manage here? Oh, fails to get out there, just barely gets into the latter portion of that third and final outside zone, Ryan.
Yeah, little tiny pucker effect there for a second after the initiation, but was able to hold on to it. You can see he does miss outside zone 1 completely, so we'll see probably quite a bit of points knocked off there, given 20 total for line and angle. But he's able to kind of recuperate the run overall, get back on it, gets into outside zone number 2. Almost gets out to the dirt there, comes off a little bit early, but at this point you just want to get a run on the board. As it stands right now, we only have Chris Forsberg and Adam LZ that need to run their second lap to be positioned. But as Beechum gets through the course, he'll have a score on the board as well, and we'll see where that slots him into the top 32.
And as Beechum pulls off the course, awaiting his score, our next driver, that of Wataru Masuyama. Masuyama, we've seen here, it looks like he's got his vehicle back. Comes back with this S15 Silvia. He was in a borrowed car there for a moment, but now here he is. Back behind the wheel of his Buy Now Japan Silvia S15. Great looking car. Saw again him in a backup vehicle. A 75 there for Trenton Beechum. The Clonex Racing Nexen tire. All right, our 3 judges scrutinizing the runs throughout the day. They definitely have their hands full today. Ryan Lontaine, longtime FD judge. Second veteran would be that of Brian Egger, and joined us just last year for the first year. Now he is in his sophomore season. Chris Yule, our 3 judges, analyzing from the Tower of Power. Here we go. Masuyama initiates aggressively. Ooh, man, almost gets into the wall, but I love it. There's no chill right now for Masuyama. Zero chill. Masuyama into that second outside zone. Really consistent, very fluid. Ryan keeps it there, just consistent all the way through that second outside zone. Now into the third. Look at this. Masuyama, relax, bro. Can't win in qualifying. Just got to get into the show and then see how it goes. Let's take a look at it here again, Ryan.
Well, harkening back to Daijiro Yoshihara with that 93, he taps the wall as well, was able to kind of stay in it. Could have been a little bit deeper into that zone, but the line that he was able to get on after leaving outside zone 1 put him in a pretty good situation in his positioning on the course to fill outside zone 2 and really not have to overly modulate to get to inside clip 1. So pretty good job there, and then aggressively hits that final outside zone. High risk, entering right up against the wall. So I think the judges will award this run even with that little love tap on initiation. So I think it's going to be a pretty good score for him.
All right, so Masuyama puts one down. Now we are seeing that of Jonathan Nerren. Jonathan Nerren from Concord, North Carolina. Juku Racing, BC Racing, Federal Tire S14. This is just a sight lap. Great shot from the overhead. Again, this is a marathon, not a sprint today. It is an absolute drift marathon from qualifying to Pro Spec Top 32 to Pro. And there's a Masuyama score in 88. In 88 for Wataru Masuyama. On the schedule, looks like we have 4 more drivers left. Again, the question mark here is Ryan Litteral. Will he make it to the line? He's been having some issues just getting that car prepared for competition. Just wants to make sure he comes out swinging. A lot of heat on the interwebs of 2J and RB armies wrapping out. But right now, Jonathan Nerren,
You getting involved?
nah, can't do it too much. Yeah, too much. Nerren into that first outside zone, initiates in, drops that back left tire in, no problem. And now in that second outside zone, you can see, dives in, grips up, comes out, then gets back into that second outside zone. About the second hash mark there for Nerren. And into the final zone, leaves it with a little dust in your face there from Jonathan Nerren. Then a Juku Racing, BC Racing, Federal Tire S14.
Well, drifting seems to be the best cup of coffee for everybody this morning. All the early fans that came out, as well as those watching at 5:30 a.m. on the West Coast. And as we see this run finishing up here, or getting through the second outside zone, overall, pretty good job here by Nerren. Making those adjustments that he needs to on outside zone 2. Second hash mark on that inside clip. Good little transition back around. Keeps some angle, floats it out here, and gets back on throttle right as he enters the zone, and is able to take that left rear wheel right to the edge of outside zone 3. So a good little pickup for him.
Yeah. Okay, and as Nerren waits for his score, should be seeing Kyle Mohan coming out, the lone rotary. As Kyle Mohan, Renewable Lubricants Mazda Tricks. Mazda, and an 87 for Jonathan Nerren. All right, so Ryan, unfortunately, we are hearing that that Kyle Mohan is calling a competition timeout. Kyle Mohan calling a competition timeout. Do spark plugs timeout? Yeah, they sure do. And timely spark plug replacement not only prevents fouling, it provides the best engine performance and ensures less repair time. Can save you money on unnecessary repairs. Visit ngksparkplugs.com to learn more about OE suggested spark plug intervals and find the best plug for your engines. NGK, the ignition specialist. Ryan, what does this mean as far as, again, we talked about the incompletes. Those will be the only second runs, all things considered. LZ, Forsberg, and now potentially even, or for sure, Mohan.
Well, and it also looks like that Pollock and Osbo and our #1 qualifiers so far are going to remain unchallenged at the moment as we whittle down to our last 3 drivers, plus, as you mentioned, Adam LZ and Chris Forsberg, who will take their second lap. They're the only drivers that have been incompletes, and in this modified schedule for this morning, it's only the drivers that have incompletes that will take their second lap. And it looks like now getting out on course is Josh Reynolds for his warm-up. You did mention, Jared, and we saw his spotter, his dad, just come in, that Kyle Mohan is going to be taking his competition timeout. There's a track map once again, calling to the importance of that first outside zone. You can see that green sector there basically is right at initiation all the way through that first kind of right-hand sweeper. And then the two zones making up, or the second zone making up two sectors, is that big, long left-hand sweeper. The middle zone there, kind of the transition and inside clip, and then the final outside zone, your final sector there. So 60 points total for line and angle, 40 points for style, making up 100 points. And we see a few guys that have gotten into the 90s, including Daijiro Yoshihara, who did it just this morning with the 93.
Yeah, just progressively. It kind of starts big, and then it slowly kind of tapers down with the, the point allocation, and obviously how big and technical the zones get. But just ending, you don't want to end with a bang, more figuratively than literally into the wall. Here we go, Josh Reynolds from Seattle, part of this Drift Force team, the twin vehicles of the event. Forsberg from Switzerland, BMWs, into the second outside zone. Reynolds goes all the way out. Oh, little correction there as he exited out of that second outside zone, throws him off of that inside clip. And look at that, throws him really off of that last outside zone, shallows up quite a bit. You can see Josh kind of shaking the wheel there like something's not 100%.
Well, I don't want to speak too soon, but that was a pretty sizable correction. You have to wonder if the judges would award an incomplete here or give it incomplete. First outside zone, he was a bit shallow. He gets a little bit better in outside zone two, but you can see he is kind of struggling with the car. And then right there, the front end just washes out. He does keep angle in the car. But yesterday, Jared, I was thinking about the judges putting a lot of emphasis on that unchaseable lead, and so you have to think about a driver in the chase. How would that affect him? It seems like the momentum kind of stays up and just the front end that washes out. But as we take a look at the final parts of the replay there, it's really going to be up to the judges to make that call.
And here's another look of Josh Reynolds' run, Ryan, the overhead view here from the drone.
Yeah, the drone shot and that second to last one that we saw was most apparent to me. The front wheels do not lose angle all the way, so it just kind of washes out here. So it is a big correction. Personally, for me, it's not an incomplete, but again, the drivers or the judges' emphasis on unchaseable leads, as it's defined in the rule book, has been something that has been more important and more emphasis, because they really want those qualifying runs to mimic what a lead driver would look like. And if you could imagine a chase driver behind a driver that is making a lot of mistakes or slowing down a lot, even if they don't spin out, they want to classify that as an unchaseable lead. So the question will be, is that one of them? But it looks like it is not.
Scores are in for Mr. Reynolds, and it's a 66. So a lackluster score, but a score nonetheless. So Josh Reynolds with that. So right now we have 3 incompletes, Ryan, that of Chris Forsberg, Kyle Mohan, and Adam LZ.
No, Mohan called 5.
Oh, no. So we are hearing that Litteral just called the competition timeout as well. So, all right. So that would mean that 4 drivers would have incomplete runs, and they're vying for 3 spots. So that's what gets interesting here. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll find out what transpires here at E-Town. This is the AutoZone Gauntlet presented by Type S.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro driver, and today we're going to talk about Royal Purple HPS and what actually goes into it. There's a lot of talk about additives, and Royal Purple has its proprietary Centerlick technology. It is fortified with a high level of zinc phosphorus anti-wear additive for exceptional protection against heat and wear. Its high film strength improves sealing between the piston ring and cylinder wall for maximum horsepower and torque. Royal Purple HPS, race car technology for the street.
At Holley, we're gearheads too, so we decided to create a one-stop shop for all things automotive, a place we call Motor Life. Motor Life is Holley's new completely free digital magazine that houses the how-to stories, car features, news, and videos that car folks love. To check it out, head on over to motorlife.com and don't forget to subscribe to our Motor Life newsletter so you won't miss any of this great car-centric content.
All right, we are back, and we are ready to see Ryan Litteral. We're hearing that Litteral pulled up to the line. He's ready to go, and Mohan still utilizing that competition timeout. So it's great to see Ryan Litteral. That power stop brakes S15. Just again creating a lot of noise during the off season and in between events. Just him and I like it. I think it's cool because it's just flying a flag, right? It's like traditional stick and ball sports. You're rooting for your team. 2J, RB, just yeah, go and get tranced.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to see him on the line, that he has ameliorated, new word, his issues.
Word of the day, ameliorated. Okay, let's go and look that one up.
And, you know, it's exciting to finally see him here. I know he struggled to kind of fix the issues with the car. He did have that comp timeout, so that does make me a little bit worried here, but let's see what he does here, if he can get a score on the board. Oh, no.
Well, right, well, would this be a sight run, or is that comp go?
That's his comp run.
Oh, man, Oshevis.
So problems are not resolved. They're not ameliorated.
No, so ameliorated makes something bad or unsatisfactory better. The instance is the reform did much to ameliorate living standards. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. There's your Ryan Sage word of the day, everybody. So go and look up ameliorated, spelled A-M-E-L-I-O-R-A-T-E.
But guess what? He will have another. He does. Now he's our third driver with an incomplete. So he will have
now.
That.
He officially does have an incomplete.
Yeah.
I misspoke earlier that he would go. So very unfortunate for him, as limps his way back to the start line.
So I believe that means that we will see LZ first, and then
correct
car 64.
LZ Forsberg
after Mohan.
But yeah, if Mohan is, have we seen him pull into the burnout box? We're seeing our pro spec vehicles line up. See Nate Chen there. And again, we are waiting for that of Mohan. We are in the midst of finishing out qualifying. The knockout qualifying is Kyle Mohan. There's Ryan Litteral and his team. Hopefully we can push it off. And here it is. This is the schedule for today, 11:45. So local time, give you an idea, just before 9:30 local time. So 11:45 is our Pro Spec opening ceremony. We'll get into top 32 just after lunchtime. And then Pro Open ceremony, 6:30. Top 32, 7 o'clock. Till we find out who wins both Pro Spec Top 32 and Pro Top 32. This is round 2 of the Link Engine Management Pro Spec Championship and round 3 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. The AutoZone Gauntlet presented by Type S. Trying to find out what status is with Kyle the Menace Mohan as Litteral gets his car pushed off. Mohan is in the burnout box. There is Mohan warming up his tires. That Mazda Tricks renewable lubricants Mazda RX-8. All right, so this is a site lap for Kyle Mohan. This is a site lap. He has yet to go out and inspect the current conditions. So again, Litteral does have an incomplete. Mohan utilized his competition timeout. We'll see if he got his car up and running. Mazda RX-8. And all right. If you haven't downloaded Torque Drift yet, this track is now available. Make way for Dylan Hughes' his Royal Purple BMW E46, out now on Torque Drift, a free-to-play drift game available now on mobile and PC. So download the tracks in Torque Drift. Check it out. Again, we have our track visualization, a free-to-play drift game, iOS, Android, and PC. Download it and play it now. And this is our actual course here, Chelsea to Nova, piloting here at E-Town. So it gives you an idea of the gameplay and what you can expect here from Torque Drift. Full-on Formula Drift game packs, tracks, all of it. Check it out at Torque Drift. Download it today. And now here we go, right into it. Kyle Mohan on initiation. This is for a score. Brings in that first outside zone. A lot of handbrake there. Slides it into that first outside zone and now into the second outside zone. Got that back right wheel right in there, digging in. And now on the second hash mark for Mohan. Brings in the final outside zone. Mohan gets one on the board. KMR 999.
Did the
right,
job
KMR
here.
99. Kyle Mohan, renewable lubricants, Mazda Tricks RX-8 on Federal tires, Ryan.
Well, he did the job here, and things are starting to get a little bit, I think, tense as I look at what is potentially going to happen here, because Kyle Mohan's got a score on the board, and we got Reynolds with the score on the board. That means they're in. That means we're going to have 3 guys going for 2 spots in this second run. And you've got Adam LZ, you've got Chris Forsberg, and you've got Ryan Litteral that are going to be facing off. So a little bit of tension here.
Yeah, things get very interesting. So, you know, Kyle Mohan kind of lives to see another day in regards to competition. Ryan Litteral, that is TBD, to be determined. But I know, you know, wrapping up with Forsberg last night, he said he had some alternator issues, just not holding power. So when he went to go initiate, just lost power, fell on its face, and it just straightens out. So here are the goals, Ryan.
Yeah, this is what we are trying to finish up today. The qualifying goals: running the designated line, maximizing angle while maintaining momentum, initiate with a big rate to angle. We saw a lot of points being rewarded for that in certain runs today and yesterday. And then, of course, the fast and smooth transitions. right after inside clip number 1. So now we move on to the second part of qualifying. 3 drivers remaining, Jared: LZ, Forsberg, and Litteral. And in that order is how they will run this second part of qualifying. LZ, Forsberg, and Litteral, all with incompletes on their first run. As we await the score for Kyle Mohan, we will see LZ first, then Chris Forsberg, and then go back to Ryan Litteral.
A lot of fans eagerly waiting for Adam LZ. Again, he just has a lot of eyeballs on him from across the globe. So Mohan was a 68 for Kyle Mohan. So he does get that score. Bettering Josh Reynolds, he had a 66 there. So Adam LZ. So Adam LZ will be taking a sight lap because he has yet to see or feel and experience the track conditions as of today. So again, sight lap here. Adam and the LZ S15 brings it into that second outside zone. So it looks like he is a lot more confident today than yesterday. Just the attitude of the vehicle, you could see it. If you recall, yesterday went off course, spun out. It was an incomplete, so hence the incomplete and the 0.
So let's paint the picture here.
Yeah.
Really, it's just a battle between these 3 competitors. Highest 2 scores of these next 3 runs move into the top 32.
Yep.
Why? Because we have 33 drivers, 32 spots. And the drivers that score a run here cannot get higher than a 31 or 32, depending on who gets the higher of the scores there, because the drivers that scored a run on their first run are locked in.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the articulation and in this scenario.
Articulate.
And here we go, Adam LZ. This is basically his last chance to make it in. Adam LZ in the LZ S15. He's on his NATO tires. Let's see how he fares. Comes under the tower power into this first outside zone. Adam LZ, he needs to do it. Do it for the gram, do it for the fans. Now in that second outside zone, doesn't get all the way out there. You can barely just see him get a Nitto tire tread in that second outside zone, past that front clip, dials it in there. Let's see how he handles this last and final outer zone. Just still hesitant. It's just, I don't know what's going on, but he does put a run down, doesn't get all the way out to that last outside zone. Let's take a look at a different perspective.
Well, you know, it's not an easy thing to not be able to finish qualifying on the day and the track conditions that you have. Sleep overnight, wake up in the morning, do a sight lap in pseudo wet conditions, and then come back out and try to put down the best run that you can, competing against 2 other competitors. I think overall, as you said, a couple little mistakes here, but this is a pretty solid run. And the most questionable driver in this scenario is really between Chris and Litteral because of the mechanical uncertainties. I would imagine that Chris got the alternator fixed, so that basically says what we saw from Litteral is that going to be fixable. He may not be, you know, part of the equation.
That was moments ago, not 12 hours ago.
Exactly. And so for Adam LZ, if he's thinking in his mind that I just need to go and put down a scoreable run, he did just that. It should be enough, but we still have Chris to go. Anything can happen. And of course, there is what Ryan Litteral does on his second run.
So Adam LZ with an 85. So that says position 1, but don't get that twisted. That is a 31. So just out of the 3 remaining drivers, including Adam LZ, he currently has the top score of those 3. So an 85. So again, repeating what Ryan said, he can't get any higher than 31st overall. So Forsberg taking his sight lap, making his way back to the start line. He looked looked like he got a lot more power there from yesterday's first qualifying run. So Forsberg and his NOS energy drink, Nissan 370Z on GT radials, heads to the line. And here is his qualifying run. Will he land 31st, 32nd, or will he be on the outside looking in? Forsberg in that VR Power 370Z. into that first outside zone, transitions into the second outside zone. He doesn't get all the way out there either, Ryan, on that first outside now. Looks a lot more comfortable in that second outside zone. Some wavering there past that front clip. Now into that final outside zone. That's the Forsberg you've come to expect there in the last 17 plus years. So Forsberg does put a score on the board. I have to think that will be a little bit better than LZ's. But let's take a look.
Well, you know, this is a 3-time champion, has been in many pressure-filled situations. This seems like this is probably not one of the biggest one of them. However, it is still extremely important to him and his program to make it into the top 32. And it's going to be a tough draw, right? Because he's either, if he makes it in, he's either going to be 31 or 32, which means he's either going to be going against Chelsea DeNovo or Justin Pollock. No easy battle there.
No, not at all.
It's going to be a long weekend. Let's find out what the score is for Chris Forsberg as he finishes up his run with just one driver remaining in Ryan Litteral.
All right, so Ryan Litteral is letting us know that obviously he's taken his sight lap. This is just kind of one for the boys. How is he going to do it? How is he going to throw it down? Can he, again, 85 from LZ, waiting for Chris Forsberg's score. He would need to better the lower score of those two, and here's Forsberg's score. An 89. So it does better, not by much, but still a great score, 89. But if it ended right now, Forsberg would be 31st, LZ, the final number 32 spot. But Ryan Litteral would love to rain on the parade. This is it, his final qualifying run. Ryan Litteral, the Power Stop Brakes S15 on GT Radials, Riverside, California. Us versus them coming in to that first outside zone. Brings it on in. Can Ryan Litteral play spoiler to either that? Well, right now, he'd basically play spoiler to Adam LZ. He needs an 85 or better. And there goes Ryan Litteral past that front clip. Now transitioning into that final outside zone. So two S15s right now going toe-to-toe. Ryan Litteral could play spoiler to one of Formula Drift's fan favorites. Let's take a look at it. Again, he was Rookie of the Year, talking about LZ, and here's Ryan Litteral coming back into the equation.
All that really matters here is it higher or lower than 85? That's all that matters here, because he's either out or LZ's out.
Yep.
That's it. That's really the only equation. Forsberg has secured at least a second place in this battle because he has the highest score so far. And that means it's between Litteral and LZ. LZ's got an 85. What does Ryan Litteral lay down? Now, he's definitely made this a fingernail biting situation here. As we take a look at the run, first outside zone, not too shabby there. A little bit slower transition back around. He's on the inside of outside zone 2. Now that may be the critical part of this overall run when you compare to Adam LZ's. Adam did look like he was a little bit more fluid and deeper in that zone. This time in outside zone 3, Litteral comes back. So he does get a full pull there. No mechanical problems. It's going to come down to this very tense judging moment.
So 85 is the score to beat Adam LZ with the 2J powered S15 and Ryan Litteral with the RB powered S15. So that debate continues, and also, like I said, Forsberg, he's in. He's got an 89, which does beat that of LZ. So it's 3 drivers, 2 spots. Which one is moving on? Scores are coming in here for the Power Stop Brakes S15. Will Adam LZ watch from the outside, or will Ryan Litteral watch from the bleachers? And here it is. Ryan Litteral with an 84, an 84. So just barely watches from the outside. You can see that position 3. There were 3 drivers, 32 spots. I have to throw it down to Ryan Lontaine. Ryan Lontaine, our judge, and Ryan, going down to you. Ryan Lontaine, I want to wrap out with you. Interesting scenario from yesterday to today. Again, the power outage, but here we are, 3 drivers, and Ryan Litteral is just watching from the outside, 85 to 84.
Yeah, you know, looking at the style side of things, I don't think that Litteral did a bad job. He was just very, very safe. Clearly, that was, I think, his second run maybe that he did today. and he did none yesterday. So he put together a run. He got through the entirety without making any major mistakes, which is, you know, commendable, since that was, I think, his second full run that he did. So impressive there for that, but just lacking the excitement and I guess the commitment that we're looking for on this track. It is a bit of a smaller track, but speaking to a lot of the drivers, they were saying how technical it is and how demanding it really is. So it does have its little intricacies that make it a little more difficult than it appears on the surface.
Well, this is how the scores break down, Ryan. 23 apiece for Line compared to LZ and Ryan Litteral. 28 to 26 in favor of Litteral on angle, but LZ got the edge on style, 36 to 33, and that ends up becoming the defining moment there. So Adam LZ moving on into the top 32, and he will face our #1 qualifier, Chelsea Denofa.
Wow. So, yeah, that should be fun. And those guys actually good friends. You know, you've seen Chelsea in a lot of the LZ videos. But let's take a look at the schedule here coming up, because we'll be signing off because we have some Pro Spec warm-ups. But we'll be back here online for our Pro Spec opening ceremony, 11:45. And again, just to give you an idea, local time just before 9:45. So in a couple hours, we'll be back here online, sending it here at E-Town. Again, the first ever purpose-built Drift Coliseum. You can see top 32. So let's take a look back at the top 5 moments from Orlando as we're going to sign off. Ryan, thank you so much, man, and we'll see you back here in a couple hours.
High five. All right.
Yes, sir. All right. So that's a peace out from E-Town. See you in a couple hours. The AutoZone Gauntlet presented by Type S. Wow. We've seen that multiple times from Chris Forsberg. What happened there? Comes down to that transition. He is in fuego. Makes some noise for Mohan Jr. and Chris Forsberg. RTR. It's an all RTR battle for Mohan Jr. Chelsea Nova, Ford Performance. Dropping in, coming in hot, throwing sparks. Oh, Chelsea comes in. Comes out swinging. Woo! Doctor, are you kidding me? Look at this! To the moon! Boom! Goes the bumpers! Denofa in the chase position. Oh, look at this. This is what we're talking about. So Odie, good angle, but now talking about Itchy. Oh, wow, look at that. Odie Bakshi's hanging out there for quite a bit. And there goes Denofa going in, sweeping the leg. And there goes Denofa, gets to the side of Odie Bakshi's and brings it home, a little rubbing on the door. Well, Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer, Osbo. Justin Pollock got second overall, 1 season of championship. Wow, look at the smoke kicking off that front right. Smoke is coming from all over this vehicle. As, holy cow, you cannot see half of that vehicle. What is happening is, I think the engine is going. What is going on? You can't see anything. From the BC Racing Hidden Tire, Ford Performance Mustang RTR, running around, send it into the Big Bang. Sparks go flying, and look at Chelsea Denofa. Jumps to the side of Frederick Osbo. Right there, Sparks once again jumps up to the side. Massive angle from Chelsea Denofa in the chase position. Hunts him down. The Norwegian Hammer gets sweated by Denofa. Shots fired on the door.
Link ECU produces standalone engine management technology with a range of products that allow you to unleash the power of your engine. Acting as your car's brain, Link ECUs control electronic fuel injection and ignition. A magnitude of sensor inputs and outputs ensure your engine exceeds your expectations. Built-in safety features guarantee engine protection, and data logs keep you informed on its performance. Smoke your tires, not your engine, with a world-leading Link ECU.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Nice. Glad to see you guys are taking advantage of AutoZone's Type S and Monster promo. You can win some amazing prizes.
I like to win.
Me too. You're up.
Oh, that's all right. I got you last year, bro.
Oh.
Looks like you two need to battle right now.
Energy, human horse.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.